Hey, Ayurveda Everyday with Talya. Hello. I'm so happy to be here with you today for an extra special Facebook Live Masterclass that is especially for this group. So I'm not offering this masterclass anywhere else except for inside Ayurveda Everyday with Talya. Well, I guess actually we do upload it to YouTube, so it'll be up there too. But yeah, this is really for the boot campers, and for anyone who's interested enough in Ayurveda to actually be in this Facebook group. And I apologize for the background noise. I gave my dog a treat, and I think she's going to be working on it throughout the masterclass. So let's just see how that goes. So the masterclass that I've taught earlier this week is called Reignite Your Radiance with Ayurveda. Zuzu, be quiet. I thought it was something she would lick, not chew, so anyway. And I talked about the 3 pillars of fall nourishment that energize your body, that reduce inflammation, that deeply connect you to yourself, and that, inspire your vitality and your radiance. And I'm not going to talk about that same masterclass here. What I want to dive into is those 3 pillars of fall nourishment. I want to take it to like another level because my 3 pillars in the Reignite Your Radiance masterclass, if you happen to catch it, it was awesome. And if you're part of the bootcamp, then you definitely got an email last night with the replay because we had technical difficulties, couldn't actually deliver the masterclass as we'd planned. So then we're like, you know what? We don't want anyone to miss it. So we just sent it to everyone. But those 3 pillars were number 1, in the fall, you need to reduce vata, the vata dosha, which is air and ether, too much wind. This was day 2 of our boot camp last week. The second pillar is, oh my God, now I'm forgetting what it is. The second pillar is you need to start doing things differently, which to me means you've got to be willing to sit with your discomfort. You've got to be willing to have a goal that propels you beyond the discomfort that might make you stop. Like any excuse that we have for why we don't follow through on the things that really matter to us. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't know how I would do that. I'm scared. I'm in so much pain. I just don't know that I can keep going. All of those things, and that's why when I teach these master classes, my solution is community-based and connection-based, because it's so important to feel like you're not alone, because those things happen to all of us. Life gets in the way for all of us at different times, and for some of us more than others, right? So, and then the third pillar of the Reignite Your Radiance Masterclass was around that self-awareness is the crux, is the necessary element for change and transformation to happen. So those things are all super true, super valid. But what I want to go into a little bit more with you is in Ayurveda, and especially, I think all Ayurvedic teachers approach it differently. Everyone has their own voice. I love following Kate Stillman because her Ayurvedic voice is so different from mine. Her leadership style is so different from mine. And I just get so much out of learning from her because it's so different from the way that I think. And I love being a guest teacher in her cleanse programs. It's an honor to be a guest teacher for her. And it's cool to supplement what she teaches with what I teach. So we all have a different approach as Ayurvedic teachers. And when I teach about nourishment, which is to me the fundamental purpose of living and learning Ayurveda, is knowing how to nourish you every day, all day. That's why I call my company Ayurveda Everyday with Talya. What I mean by that title is really you want Ayurveda to be a part of your everyday, not only because the remedies and the nutrition and the food and the self-care is so profound. But because when you have Ayurveda in your life every day, that means that every day you're asking yourself, how do I feel? What do I need? In this moment, what do I need? Remember that from day 3 of our Detox Your Body with Ayurveda Bootcamp last week. Now, if you're new to this group or you weren't part of the bootcamp and you're like, gosh, she keeps talking about the bootcamp, you can still join the bootcamp. I will post the link to the bootcamp when this video is over, and I'll put it in the notes in the description of this video. But the videos for the bootcamp actually live inside this Facebook group. So if you go to the videos tab on the left-hand side of the Facebook group page, you'll actually find day 1 through 5 of the bootcamp. However, you get the most out of the bootcamp when you also get all the downloads and action steps and the meditation that I created for it. And to get that, you have to sign up via email. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, oh, the Detox Your Body with Ayurveda Bootcamp, I want to join. It's free. We're going to keep it open until Monday, October 7th. So you've got all weekend to check it out if you haven't yet. So I recommend doing that actually as a supplement to this masterclass. Now, so the pillars I want to dive into for our masterclass, which I'm basically saying are, let's dive into the next level of these 3 pillars of nourishment, are really about going back to the basics. And some of you have heard me talk about this new teacher that I am studying with, who is blowing my mind, hopefully in the way that some of the Ayurvedic teachings are blowing your mind in the best way possible. Her name is Lisa Romano, and she teaches how to recover from codependency and narcissistic abuse. And it's very helpful for me at this stage in my life, and I'm so grateful that I found her. And so many of the things that we teach are actually the same. And it's also blowing my mind of how much I love that. But anyway, that's an aside. But how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? She talks about that all the time too, because that self-awareness, here we go again, is going back to basics of, that's the radical act of self-care, the radical act of self-love, the radical act of I matter, is tuning in to how you feel and then responding from that place. So when I talk about going back to the basics, that's kind of the foundational, floor plan. Is how do I feel in this moment? What do I need? But there's 3 pieces to this going back to basics, the way I teach nourishment. So number 1 is digestion. And again, I spoke about this so much in the Detox Your Body with Ayurveda Bootcamp. Digestion is the root of your vitality. And Ayurveda says, this is everywhere in Ayurvedic texts that I've read, is anything that's going on with you, you can trace it back to what's happening in your digestion. Now, for some of you, that might feel confusing because you're like, but I have bowel movements every day and I feel like shit. Or, I poo 3 or 4 times a day, but I suffer from all this inflammation. So you don't have to be constipated or have diarrhea or, constant gas and bloating for your body to not be digesting fully everything that it could be digesting. Because digestion is deeper than just pooping. It's actually, when we think about digestion in the Ayurvedic system, it's how strong is your digestive fire. So how brightly burning, how bright does your digestive fire burn? You want it to burn exactly the right amount to break down what you give it, what you consume, so that through that, it's called Agni, digestive fire. So through that brightly burning Agni, that is clean burning fuel, you are reducing waste in your body, toxic waste that naturally accumulates over time. So this could be, where you don't overeat all the time, but let's say like 2 or 3 times a week, you kind of overdo it at dinner, or after dinner, you're still really, you're emotionally eating. And so you're not hungry, you're eating food. You don't eat that much. Maybe you eat good things like fruit or popcorn, like it's fairly innocent and benign, especially calorically. But if your body isn't digesting that, that builds up and that becomes ama. I don't care who you are, what your dosha is, how strong your digestive system is. You create ama in the body and it sticks and it hides and it accumulates in all different ways. It's going to manifest in a different way for you based on your core constitution, based on your climate, based on the season that you're in, based on the level of stress, how well you sleep, whether or not you have autoimmune in your genetic history. I mean, there's so many different factors. So digestion is more than just pooping, like I said. And when you have all this ama, it is like a deterrent or a blockage to your radiance, to your vitality, to your energy, to your feeling good, to your being able to release that which you don't need to thrive. And we really want, excuse me, my nose is itching. We really want to use Ayurveda as a tool to clear all of the crap out of the way, not only in the body, but in the mind too. And what's so cool about a medicine like Ayurveda, which is completely holistic, is what's happening in the body is happening in the mind. What's happening in the mind is happening in the emotions. What's happening in the emotions is being manifest in the body. So it doesn't really matter which window or door you walk through, whether you walk through the emotional healing door, the psychic healing door, the physical healing door. You are moving towards holistic health by walking through any one of those doors. And in Ayurveda, I feel that there's a combination of, there's a lot of physicality to it, right? Through our nutrition and our food and our self-care that's really literal. But the way that the body processes those actions ultimately does become emotional, psychic, mental. So it takes time, and it's not the only thing that you may need. You may be somebody who also needs to talk to a practitioner one-on-one, or you may need a therapist, or you may need your own Lisa Romano, like whatever. But Ayurveda definitely gets that dial turning in a very significant way. And the longer, the more you make it an everyday practice, the more you make that wheel turning sustainable and you really put yourself on a path of transformation. So the other thing I want to say about digestion before I complete that piece of going back to basics is couple things. Is we don't only digest with what we think about as digestive organs like the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine. Your gallbladder is a digestive organ. Your liver is a primary digestive organ. Your spleen is a digestive organ. Your pancreas is a digestive gland. There's so much that goes into your digestive system being optimal that, when we talk about going back to basics, we might start with something like, okay, let's start with what's going on in your mouth. Because if your dental hygiene is not good, or you've got a bunch of bacteria and cavities in your mouth, it's trickling down to your stomach. It's trickling down through your esophagus and going right into the catcher's mitt, the first catch of your digestive system, which is your stomach. So we may start there we certainly start there in the spring, or actually is it in the spring? We do start there in the spring a lot of times because a lot of us are holding excess kind of phlegm or mucus in the stomach in the spring. But in the fall, the primary organs of elimination are your lungs and your large intestine. So it goes even deeper than the digestive organs. Now we're thinking about lungs and breath and prana. So, we have to digest things through all these different organs, not only through the digestive organs. And the example I use with the lungs and the colon is if your colon is backed up, well, let me say it this way. I like this analogy. So I live in a beach town. I live in Santa Cruz, California. And Santa Cruz is the southernmost tip of the Bay Area. And the Bay Area is where Apple Computer was created. And it's where Apple Computer is. It's where Silicon Valley is. So it's a very, it has become over the last 30 years, a very hectic, fast-paced place to live. And Santa Cruz, in many ways, is kind of the last frontier of peace. And a lot of people come to Santa Cruz to get away from it all and be at the beach. And the road to Santa Cruz is a 2-lane, windy highway. It's called Highway 17. A lot of people hate driving it. I don't mind. I've been driving it for I don't know, how old am I? 30 years. But that road on the weekend, when it's beautiful in Santa Cruz, it gets backed up for miles and miles and miles. So let's say that Highway 17 is your colon, and it's just filled with all this ama that you're not even aware of because you poo every day. Or even if you don't poo every day, you don't know how much ama is really there until you start to pay attention and start to release it. And by the way, ama, here's how you can know if you have a lot of ama. Do you get chronic headaches? Do you get chronic migraines? Do you have digestive issues? Do you have autoimmune? Do you have cancer? Do you have candida? Do you have yeast? Do you get bloated and fatigue after meals? Do you have acne? Do you get skin rashes? Do you have plantar fasciitis? All these symptoms are actually symptoms of excess ama in the body, showing you hello, I need you to pay attention. I need you to help me get out of here so we can start anew and get back to basics, get back to vitality. Really, I talked about this in the Reignite Your Radiance Masterclass. Your basic state, your original state is one of radiance. That's where babies are born into radiance unless they're ill. But, babies quickly bounce back. That's a sign of radiance, is when you quickly bounce back. And we have to work at that after a certain time, just because, that's part of being human. That's part of the aging process, is we don't have the same elasticity and fluidity and juiciness that we do as a child or in puberty. And after the age of, say, it's different for everyone, but say 35, 40, then we have to really look at how do I cultivate these kinds of qualities in myself, because it's up to me now. Nature's not going to do it for me anymore unless I engage with nature in a conscious, purposeful, intelligent way. So, oh my God, I'm talking about so many different things, but I was talking about the Highway 17, the colon being backed up. Well, okay, all the cars that can't see the traffic in front of them. So, the small intestine, the liver, the spleen, the pancreas, which is not an organ, it's a gland, the gallbladder, the stomach, they're all behind. And they're backed up because traffic isn't flowing through the colon. And then I even go farther back, and the lungs are now getting backed up. And now I'm susceptible to all kinds of allergies and bronchitis and asthma, because there's all this ama, all this excess, all this overwhelm in the body, mind, spirit, that if traffic would just start to flow, I could flow, everything else could flow with it. So when, right now I am in the process of getting ready to release my Rad Cleanse Fall Release. So I teach an Ayurveda detox program every season. And the fall season is a Vata predominant season. Like I said a few minutes ago, the colon and the lungs, they're sister organs. They're paired in Ayurveda and Chinese medicine. They are the primary organs of elimination for Vata. They're Vata organs. They're hollow organs that are filled with, stuff, air, blood, whatever. They're not filled with blood, but they're not blood-filled organs, but they're hollow, and we fill them with things to live. So when we look at the different organ systems, and this will be really interesting for you if you've been studying Ayurveda for a while, there are surface organs and there are deeper organs. Now, every time we're looking at a pair of organs that are sisters or that are paired, almost always there's one that is the surface organ and one that is the deeper organ. In the case of large intestine and lung, large intestine is the surface organ. Lung is the deep set organ. And what that means is that the deeper organ cannot change until the surface one does. The superficial organ changes. This is really why cleansing on a seasonal basis, it's not that you have to do it every single season, but I 1000% recommend for all of my clients that you get into an annual rhythm of cleansing your body at least twice a year. Spring and fall are the most potent, powerful times of year to cleanse. This is Ayurveda's answer to preventative medicine as the source of your vitality, your long life, your longevity, feeling good no matter where you are in your life cycle, being able to bounce back no matter where you are in your life cycle, no matter how sick you get, the ability to bounce back. So a seasonal Ayurvedic cleanses those superficial organs so that you can get to the detoxification of your deeper organs, which include your lungs, your heart, your liver, your spleen, your kidneys, and your overall circulation. So this is like kind of going deep into immunity, which is my pillar number 2. Immunity is the same system as your lymphatic system. And what you eat, what you digest, is immediately delivered to lymph and blood. Your lymphatic system is the same system as your immune system. It's like the garbage collection system of your body. It's a fluid-based system. This is what I talked about in day 4 of our bootcamp, but not in this much detail. But this is why I was talking about hydration is deeper than water, and why it's so important that we really focus on hydration and fluidity, especially in the Vata season, which is the driest season of the year. But this is any season at this point, because so many of us are depleted, exhausted, running on empty, dehydrated. I really got onto this trip of dehydration as an epidemic when a lot of clients come to see me for private sessions, and I've been doing it for 16 years in Santa Cruz. And it was like every single client that came in, I started to really count. I was like, 95% of my clients are dehydrated. It doesn't matter if they're Pitta, Kapha, or Vata. It doesn't matter. They're all coming to me and they're all dehydrated. This is an epidemic. And then I'm aging alongside everybody else. And I started feeling like the change in my own body as I went past, from 40 to 42 to 44. Now I'm 46. And I was like, this, depletion and dehydration is fucking real. Like, we need to address this. This is why I developed a program called Nourishment School that I no longer teach, but I'm going to be bringing back in 2020 in a new form. Because I was just like, we've got to know how to nourish ourselves. So the primary reason being that when we're not nourished, when we're not hydrated, you don't have an immune system that's working for you. And when you don't have an immune system that's working for you, I want you to really hear this. Your body cannot come to your rescue. Your body cannot come to your rescue when you are not hydrated enough to the point where your lymphatic system is in flow. And I do believe that, and this is very, I don't know that I'm allowed to say this like legally, but when I look at people who have developed to such a degree, like this kind of overgrowth of ama in the body that has manifested into something like an autoimmune disorder or cancer, I truly believe that Ayurveda has the answer to opening up the channels and hydrating those channels so that not only, I mean, now everyone has their kala, their timeline. So, if it's your time to go, you know, I that's way beyond what we're talking about. That's between you and spirit and whatever your karma, whatever you came into this life um, to be and do and have. It's beyond. Basically, I'm just saying death is beyond what I'm talking about. But I do believe that Ayurveda has the answer to being able to open up all the channels so that our bodies can come to our rescue. And you've got to know the absolute fundamentals of living an Ayurvedic life. And I believe that starts with what you eat, but also with how you care for your body. And your body needs something different every season. It needs something different nutritionally. It needs something different self-care wise, body care wise. So this is why I don't recommend, just like a general detox, like, oh, just any time of year, just like, oh, I'll just detox because I don't feel that well. Like, you want to know that you're doing a detox that's really smart for where you are right now, where the season is right now, and I'll add to that where you are in your season of life. So immunity is huge, and that's pillar number 2 of this nourishment that I'm talking about in this masterclass. And then pillar number 3 is self-care. And that's a really big topic because self-care covers not only what we're doing, like rituals and routines and healthy habits that we commit to so that we feel better every single day. We do something to make ourselves feel better than we already feel. This is true even if you already feel great. You gotta feed that. You gotta feed that. Like, if you've ever read that book by Elizabeth Gilbert, Eat, Pray, Love, love the book. Thought the movie was super lame, but loved the book. She says in that book, she's got such a great quote in there. I'll post it in our group about happiness. And because, right, that's how she even embarks on her whole journey of eat, pray, love. She goes to Italy to just eat herself into some form of pleasure because she's been so depressed and she just left a relationship that wasn't working for her. Then she goes to India to meditate and like get into her self-awareness. And then she goes to Bali to like continue her journey and ends up finding love because that's what she has learned to radiate and vibrate at inside of herself through going to Italy and India. How is she not going to find love in Indonesia, right? It's inevitable. She was ready for it. But she created that. She cultivated that. She worked for that. And she talks about that in her book when she talks about happiness, that it's not something that happens to you. It's something that you work for. And I think she even says you fight for it. So I'll find my little meme and I'll post it in our Facebook group so you can see the quote I'm referring to. But these are the basic tenets that I teach in the Rad Cleanse. And, in addition to Ayurveda Starter School, which, is actually available to you right now, but I'm going to kind of relaunch Ayurveda Starter School in the winter. In addition to that course, which is obviously from its name, my starter school for Ayurveda students who are new and really want to live Ayurveda every single day, the Rad Cleanse is my step 2. And you can do the Rad Cleanse without doing Ayurveda Starter School, without knowing anything about your dosha, without knowing anything about Ayurveda. You can do the Rad Cleanse and you will just absorb and assimilate so much goodness that will serve you and sustain you, because the Rad Cleanse is designed to meet you where you're at. So if it's all really new to you, we meet you where you're at. If you're an advanced practitioner and this is your 10th time doing an Ayurvedic cleanse, we meet you where you're at. There are so many different levels that you can match up to inside of the rad cleanse. And that's a big part of that course. That's one of our mantras, actually, is meet the cleanse where you're at. So these fundamentals of digestion, immunity, and self-care that's what the rad cleanse is built on. So if you're like listening to this masterclass and you're like, you know what, I need to step it up, and I have not done a cleanse for a long time. I've never done a cleanse. I know that I'm not in a great place with my health right now. I know I need to do something about it. I'm telling you, this is one of the most profound and affordable courses you can ever take to move your health in the direction that you want to go. And when you sign up today, I've got a special bonus for all of you today. I forget what it is. Let me look it up. I think it's an Ayurvedic cooking class. I believe that that's what it is. Let me make sure I'm right about that. So if you sign up today, you get $100 off of the course, and you also get my my fall foods Ayurvedic cooking class as a bonus. That comes with even more recipes than what already come in the Rad Cleanse. And you know, the cleanse begins this Monday, October 7th. You might be like, oh, I'm not quite ready for that. But I want you to know that if you do sign up and you're not ready on Monday, it doesn't matter, because you have 90 days to complete the Rad Cleanse. And I like to give 90 days of access to this course because it covers the whole length of the season, takes you in even into the first week or so of winter, so you've got some real support over that seasonal transition, but also that you can do the cleanse and then kind of go back to your regular thing and be like, I want to go back to it. Like, I felt so good. This happens all the time. I felt so good. I want to go back to it. And so you can, because you have access to it for 90 days, for 3 whole months. So I'm going to put links in this video once I'm done being live. But if you want to check out the Rad Cleanse right now, I'm going to say a little bit more, and then I'd love to take some questions. If you have any questions. There haven't been any comments that I've seen come in. Am I missing them? But if you want to check it out now, the website is talyasKitchen.com/rad-fall. Yeah, /. So that'll take you to the page that gives you even more information, all the client testimonials, all the background about the course, really in-depth descriptions of each of the 5 modules, all of that. And it's also where you'll find that coupon code that will give you $100 off. But it is all capital letters. I am RAD 100. So check out that page. I'll post it in here. If anyone who's watching right now could actually type it into the comments, I would love that, because I don't have, the way I'm doing my Facebook Live right now, I don't have the capability to type something into the comments. So that would be great for everybody who's watching. Now I've got some kind of FAQs that I want to address in our group, because you're here because you're interested enough in Ayurveda to be in an Ayurveda everyday group. Most of you who are watching this also did my bootcamp, which was about detoxing your body with Ayurveda. And certainly the bootcamp was an awesome jumpstart. Like, that's what it was for. And you could just stick with the bootcamp. If that was enough to tide you over for a while, then that's awesome. And that's so great. But, this course, thank you for posting the coupon code. And, but the Rad Cleanse is really where the meat of it is. This is where you're going to see so much transformation. Like, I can't emphasize this enough. And this is just the way it works, Hi. I can't see who's posting the way I'm leading the Facebook Live today, the masterclass. So if you want me to know it's you, you can say your name when you comment, and then I know it's you. But change and transformation and healing, it doesn't happen to you. You make it happen. you cause it to happen. And in my opinion, I think that there's no better way to do it than with support and an amazing educated guide. I don't think that we're meant to be our own healers exclusively. I think we're meant to ask ourselves, how do I feel? What do I need? I think it's up to us to learn how to be intelligent, and it's up to us to take responsibility for learning about our bodies, how they work, and how we need to care for them so that we have the energy, vitality, and health that we really want. I believe that's our responsibility. And I believe that a course like this, taking action and joining a course like the Rad Cleanse, is you taking responsibility. It doesn't have to be this course, but I've put my heart and soul into this course, and I think it is fucking amazing and worth every penny and then some, especially when you add in all the bonuses. So, some of you say to me, like, I've already tried everything. Like, how do I know that this would work? Like, why would this be different? And my answer to that is, like, I relate to that of, like, you feel like you've tried everything, but if you haven't done the Rad Cleanse, then you have not tried this. And this solution is unique. This is, it's a group course, but I teach you how to personalize and fine-tune the cleanse for you. And we really spend a lot of time and energy on that. So it's a unique course in that I've taken other Ayurvedic cleanse programs, and I have never seen a practitioner really dive into how to make the course work for the individuals in the course. And I have some very specific ways and systems that I do that inside of the Rad Cleanse. Another thing I hear people say is, I always let myself down. I don't follow through. So, I'm concerned that if I spend the money, then I won't do it. How can you help me with this? And I actually totally get it and have been there. I've signed up for courses that were thousands of dollars and didn't end up doing, what I needed to do to follow through. And it was really disappointing. But I have also done courses where I've really taken it seriously, and I've taken my investment seriously, and I've really followed through. So I know what it's like to not be able to stick with something that's, hard or overwhelming or difficult. But like I said before, the Rad Cleanse meets you where you are. And I've even created a special module or really lesson that's all about, like, let's cut out the overwhelm. Like, it's one lesson that's like, okay, you're overwhelmed. These are the absolute basics of where to start. And I've had the most procrastinating students who are like, they're just like, I cannot get my shit together. They have been able to make strides, even baby steps. If you are not currently doing them, any baby step is going to take you so far, so much further than you might think. So I promise you that the Rad Cleanse is fun and engaging and very doable. I really walk you through every single piece step by step. You'll get more resources than you could possibly need. But I also help you break it down and, be like, I help you, I guess the best way to say it is I help you break through overwhelm so that it's really doable for you. Plus you have 90 days, so there's plenty of time. And then I get a lot of comments about the cost of this course. Now so I want to help you, like, how do you justify the cost? So I'll give you an example in my own life right now. So I got a puppy. I live in an amazing place in Santa Cruz. Thank you to my landlord, who's always been so kind to me. I love where I live, and we have a big yard, but there's no fence. And to get a puppy who has tons of energy and needs to run around all the time, it's been very difficult to have her and not have a fence, because when she goes outside, I need to go outside, and she needs to go outside all the time. And I'm like, I need to work. So I did all this research of, what would it cost to put in a fence, and, all the different types of fences. And the best solution ended up being something that cost $2,000. And I was like, oh my God, it's crazy. Like, I don't even know if it'll work. It's an invisible fence. But it was like, I just was like, I need this for my sanity. I need this for my peace of mind. I need this for my health. I need to figure out the solution to this. It was a big problem for me. I was just like really getting run down and depleted from chasing her all the time. Plus, we've got a big backyard, but another, 500 feet the other direction, she's on a super busy street and could so easily get hit by a car. I would be devastated and could never live with myself. I would feel so terrible knowing that I didn't do what I needed to do to take care of it because I didn't want to spend the money. And, I'm not going to go into so much about money is energy, but money is energy. And when you really want something, you can figure out a way to get it. That has been proven again and again and again and again. There are examples all over the universe. It's the truth. I've lived it. I know it's the truth. I've seen so many people do that. So there's that. But I spent the money. I trained her. I spent actually all of our Bootcamp week was her training on the fence. So I was training her all of last week and yesterday and today and the past days before that. It works. The invisible fence works. And she knows her boundaries, and it has been like so freaking amazing to have taken care of that. And now, like before it was like fear about spending the money. And now I'm like, that was the best money I ever spent because I just spent money on something I care about, my dog's safety, number one. But I just spent money on my own self-care and my own peace of mind and my own health. I feel great about it. And, I feel great about it. I don't know what else to say. I do everything I can to make this course incredibly affordable. And honestly, this course is worth, I think on my website I say it's worth like $1,500 with all the bonuses and all the energy that I give to the course as the teacher. I mean, it's so invaluable. So if my opinion, and this is not even what I was going to say, but my opinion is that if you can't find $300 to spend on yourself, then that's your number one thing to work on is developing your abundance consciousness that you're worth it and that your health is worth it and that this matters. Again, I may not be the teacher for you. This may not be the perfect course for you. But if it's resonating for you and you're like, I know I need this and money is stopping you, like stop letting money stop you. Just stop. Another way I could talk about this question, this concern is, I don't love to say this because it doesn't feel like it's authentically me to say this, but people say this to me. They're like, well, okay, you can't afford it, but how can you afford not to do it? And I guess I'm kind of laughing as I say, because it just doesn't feel, that's not the way I talk. But I do resonate with that in that, if you're suffering mind, body, spirit on any level, autoimmune, diabetes, type 1 or type 2, all the things that I've listed, chronic migraines, chronic acne, like how much would you spend on pharmaceutical medication to solve your problem? Sometimes that is actually really blows my mind I know people who will spend hundreds of dollars a month, if not thousands, on pharmaceutical medications or over-the-counter man-made supplements from Costco, but will not spend $300 on a course that will empower them around their health and get them feeling better than they've ever felt in their life. It's just not through a pill. That to me is like truly just doesn't make sense. And so, I'm an advocate for your awesomeness. And, I'm confident that if you invest in your health, especially in this way, that you will not regret it and that you will be so grateful the same way that I'm grateful I spent $2,000 on an invisible fence for my dog. Now, how much time does the Rad Cleanse take? I know a lot of you are really busy, and I want you to know that you can incorporate this cleanse into a busy work week. It's not a huge time investment. Usually what I say is, you need about 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day to thrive with the Rad Cleanse, plus a few hours a week to dedicate to the course, to watching the videos, to making your shopping lists, to spending at least a little bit of time in your kitchen, even if it's just to, make some spice mixes or get things organized, do some decluttering. You can complete the entire course within a window of, say, I would say that once all the modules are released, within a window of even 2 to 3 weeks. Because the cleanse is designed to be a 14-day detox, but you could shorten that. You could do a 7-day detox. You can lengthen it and do a 60-day detox. It's totally up to you. But you have access to the course for 90 days, and you get to choose your own start date. It's very, very tailored for you. So that's on purpose. And so, all you need to jump into everything I'm talking about is go to talyasKitchen.com/rad-fall/ I hope I'm saying it right. And you'll see when you go to that site, you'll see a coupon code that will give you $100 off. You will also get my Fall Foods Ayurvedic cooking class as a bonus, in addition to the bonuses that I'm already offering, like a Facebook group, live Q&A calls, a masterclass about how to restore your nervous system, how to be the master of your own de-stress ability with myself and my colleague Mary Sheila Ganella. So sign up now if this is happening, because the bonuses end, today's Thursday, I believe they end tomorrow night at midnight. One last question that I want to address is, somebody was saying, I have special dietary needs. Is the Rad Cleanse going to work for me if I'm allergic or sensitive to certain foods? Also, can I do the Rad Cleanse if I am paleo or ketogenic or vegan or vegetarian? The answer to all of that is yes, 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 yes. I don't, in my live presentations, I don't go into a lot of detail about food and nourishment, because you've got to join my Rad Cleanse to get that potent information that is unbelievably life-changing. This is the information that changed my life, that healed my body of autoimmune disease, that has given me so much energy, that has kept me at my ideal body weight for 18 years. And I'm not the only success story. Look at the testimonials on my, when you go to check out the Rad Cleanse. Like, so many, I have hundreds and hundreds of students who have been through this course that are just like, this was life-changing, Talya. Like, it just was. So I hope that this is all exciting for you, that even if you don't sign up for the Rad Cleanse, that this masterclass was useful for you. And, I just hope you don't wait any longer to take action on what's going to take your health to the next level. I hope that it's the Rad Cleanse, because I would just love to spend more time with you, helping you, serving you, and helping you transform your health through Ayurveda. So thank you so much for being here, both in this masterclass and in my Facebook group. And if you are watching this on YouTube, you are invited to join my free Facebook group, Ayurveda Everyday with Talya. We'll post a link to that group underneath this video so it's easy for you. And just thanks so much, everyone. So I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.